What can happen to you after DCF places your name on the DCF Central Registry due to a supported allegation of abuse and neglect in Massachusetts? The answer to this question is very far-reaching. When DCF supports a decision against you, they place your name on a DCF Central Registry, which is for child abuse and neglect in Massachusetts, and the laws can have far-reaching consequences. This may affect your employment. Different types of employment that are involved children, you may be prevented from continuing in such a fashion. I recently had a social worker who did all the right things but had a false allegation alleged against her. And DCF supported it, and we went to a fair hearing, and thank heavens we were successful at the fair hearing. But the real moral of the story is that if we weren't successful at this fair hearing, this social worker who spent $250,000 on her education would not have been allowed to do what her goals and dreams and aspiration was to be a social worker, helping children. And that had just been a disaster. This girl had just a 4.0, magna cum laude, she graduated. And the story and the allegations against her were false. And it just would have been such a tragedy and an injustice if this had stayed the course. She wouldn't have been able to be a social worker. There's other professions like a bus driver, or a daycare worker, or a teacher. Often teachers have allegations hurled against them by children, and they become supported. And if that happens, a person who's worked so hard to become a teacher, to teach young people, can no longer be a teacher. What a disaster. I also represented nurses. I had a nurse who was working in a school, and she gave the wrong medical dosage to a child. It was an honest mistake. But with that said, it was not neglect. It was just an honest mistake. And we were able to overturn that. But if we hadn't, she would have lost her job and her ability to earn an income to support her family, her loved ones, in the job that she loved so much, being a school nurse. And these are just a sampling of things. But when you're on the Central Registry, the other question comes to mind is that someday will that Central Registry be open to the public? It's not now, but it could be. And if that happens, do you want your name on any government listing saying that you've abused or neglected a child or your child? And the answer is obvious, absolutely not. But that may happen someday, because there's been many types of different governmental listings that were supposed to be closed to the public that now are no longer. One of them is the sexual offender list. That's a list that in certain circumstances you can get all the information in the world on somebody. And it might be for good reason. Who wants a sex offender living next door to him? I get that. But if you're the sex offender, and there are mistakes made, there are people that are convicted of being a sex offender that were innocent, have been innocent, just ruin your whole life. And everyone knows you're a sex offender, including your neighbors. So it's a real thing that you got to consider, whether you want to fight that. To me, you put me on any list, any government list that I don't deserve to be on, I will fight that to the last breath I draw. But that's just who I am. Not everybody feels the same way. But if you've got a job that's in consequence, that's in jeopardy, you need to fight that with everything you have, or you're going to lose your job. That's why you must take these allegations by DCF extremely serious. They're going to have incredible outcomes, especially if you're a parent. They can take your children. You can lose your job and your reputation. Who wants to be known as a parent who abused and neglected their children? Last but not least, is it coming? They were going to start asking, have you had allegations supported against you for DCF? And I know it's not here right now, but next week, next month, next year, or down the road, they're going to start asking those questions at school. And therefore, if you have had allegations supported against you, they're not going to let you be a baseball coach, or a little league coach, or a soccer coach, or a swimming coach, or a football coach, or a cheerleading coach, or let you be in the school to do volunteer activities with the children. I think it's coming, folks. I do. Because all roads lead to everybody being a rat against each other. In some states, as crazy as this may sound, everybody's a mandated reporter. And everybody has the affirmative duty, if they suspect child abuse, to report it. So now we're all become rats on each other. Sad. It's a sad state of affairs.